channel, or if it is your first time here, hi, my name is Missa, and today, as you can see by the title, we are playing with the new Morphe 39s. Such a gem palette, I remembered, such a gem, or sexy is what I would say that S stands for. So you will all have seen it online already, but here's a glimpse of mine looking a little bit worse for wear already, even though I've only swatched it and played with it once. I bought this the minute it released, like 4:01 p.m. When I saw it online, I think I audibly gasped. This is my kind of colour scheme. It is so beautiful. If I put it sideways, I can fit it in with me. This was £35. I got it next day delivery from Morphe UK. I used Jaclyn Hill's discount code, so it saved me a little bit of money. And this is the look, obviously, that I did using the palette. You can probably have guessed that. I have already swatched this palette over on my Instagram stories. I will either have saved them to a highlight, or you will have missed them forever. No, I'm only joking. They will appear on screen hopefully now as I am talking by magic. I swatched the kind of top two rows of shimmers, then the mattes, and then the middle ones, and the bottom. You will see it on screen. The words should be on screen as well. The pigmentation kind of blew me away. Some of the mattes are redonkulous. Some of the shimmers are redonkulous. The middle shades are probably what surprised me the most. I've never seen a texture like this from Morphe. It is almost like the Colourpop Super Shock shadows, but not as wet. Like, I don't worry about keeping the palette open while I'm playing with my eyes for literally 9 hours. They are incredible. So they are squishy, I was gonna say. So don't know if you'll be able to see if I like push my finger in, it leaves a big dent, and that's in all of these middle shades. You probably don't want to do that too much and like squish it all out, but I was really excited when I saw this palette. This is right up my colour story alley street. It is what I like. I like pinks, I like purples, I like golds. I like mixing them all together. I wasn't expecting so many silvers, but they are a happy accident in my opinion, because I didn't know they were in this palette. There's a couple of letdowns for me that I will just spell out first of all. So this shimmer up here, this fourth one in, and this one down here are pretty boring. So I've got like nothing on my fingers, and if I just do a swirl in both, these two shades are super sheer, and I built them up in my Instagram swatches. So if I swatch them there, they are really sheer, almost like toppers, which I don't really understand because all the big middle pans are toppers. So I don't know why these two had to be so sheer, especially this purple one, because I think in the palette it looks so beautiful and promising that it annoys me that it's so sheer. It's like that sparkly purple in the James Charles palette. That's what it reminds me of. The other thing that annoys me is that these two shades are really similar, that I don't think they both needed to be in the palette. To me, they are almost the same shade. Obviously, they're a little bit different, but to me, could have done without one of them. Could have done without one of them. And then the last thing that annoys me about this palette is that the black has a lot of glitter in it. I don't particularly like a sparkly black because I tend to put it in my crease quite high up, or to really add definition, and for most of us, we don't want to put glitter in our crease. Sometimes, quite often actually, I will put metallics in my crease, but that is on purpose, and that is at the front kind of half. I don't tend to put metallics in my crease at the back half of my eye, so that's where I would use a black shadow, and that's what lets me down. But apart from that, I am really chuffed with this palette. Like I said, swatched beautifully, looks beautiful. It's a pretty good price point in my opinion. I'm happy to spend £35 on this many shadows, and I do really feel like Morphe's quality is incredible. A few people ask kind of what I would compare it to. Is it comparable to the original Jaclyn Hill palette or like the James Charles? I would say more like the James Charles but better. I think it's definitely superior to the original Jaclyn Hill palette. I have that palette and I really like it, but this is more pigmented. The mattes are more buttery, the metallics shine brighter, and of course the middle row of like transformer kind of toppers, these are nuts. For Morphe, for this price point, they're just incredible. So I'm just going to be quiet, show the swatches again on screen, hopefully in more detail, and then we are going to nip right into the tutorial. So yeah, without any further fannying around, we'll look at some swatches again, because I just feel like people really want the swatches and I can't be bothered swatching 39 shadows right now. And then we will get straight into me looking a little bit uglier and I will do this tutorial. So if you want to see that, stick around. And that's a bye from me for now. Okay, so as you can see, I've already got a lot of my base on because just looked a bit ugly this morning, to be honest. I am so excited to dip into this palette and I just don't know where to start. That's how excited I am.
I've never been happier.
So what I tend to do with a lot of first impressions of palettes is do a cut crease or a spotlight eye or something like that, just to try and get a feel of how the colours blend, and that's kind of what palette reviews are about. So that's what I'm going to do, not a spotlight, because my word do they take me years. We're going to start off with, I think, a cut crease, and don't worry, I will use this palette. For goodness sake, why is it always so loud outside? If I like this palette, is what I was going to say, I will continue to use it on my channel a lot, so you don't need to worry about that. So the first shade I'm gonna grab, I think, I'm gonna grab the shade Make It Rain, which is this deep matte purple down on the second bottom row. I have just got a bit of foundation and concealer on my eyelids. Let me just get rid of those creases. Yeah, I'm grabbing that shade on a pencil brush because I have hooded eyes and I'm going to keep my eyes fully open. And put that shade so that when my eyes fully open, I'm actually able to see it. And because I'm going to do my rounded shape, I am going to run this just slightly along the lower lash line as well. Just at the very beginning, because I might end up doing like a contrasting colour underneath. And now that I've got that shade so that when I start really packing it on, it's going to be above my crease, I'm going to grab my favourite brush, if I can find it. I'm telling you, if I do actually ever make merch, it's going to say "Where is my brush" on a t-shirt, because never know. So I'm just grabbing my Morphe M506 and I'm going to start blending my crease. I'm just going to pack it on the outer corner as well. I can always deepen it up or whatever later on, but right now this is a pretty deep purple. has a really nice amount of pigmentation straight off the bat. And it's not really coming off patchy, which is good. Considering I am using a fluffy brush, I've had literally zero fallout as well, which is quite impressive. Although I will admit, in the pan there is a bit of kick up. But yeah, so far no fallout on my cheeks. I'm just going to take a clean fluffy brush and just blend out the edges. It's blending out really nicely, just with a really soft amount of pressure. I'm gonna grab another Morphe M506, a clean one. Gotta be honest, I really love the names. I'm gonna grab this bottom purple matte as well, which is called Grape Mines. I'm just gonna blend out the edges of that first shade that I used with Grape Mines. I'm gonna take that all the way into the inner corner as well. I can definitely see a differentiation of these shades on my eyes, but I would say they are pretty darn similar. This is definitely more of a purple though than a blue purple, like that first shade. And it is pretty deep as well actually. Once it's on the eye, it's not as light. I thought it was just going to be a tad lighter than it is. I'm just going to take a clean Morphe M514 and just soften the edges of what I've done. I've just cleaned off my Morphe M506 and I'm going in with this shade up here called Very Good. It's just too beautiful not to use. And I don't necessarily want this to be like a super cool toned purple look. I just wiped off my Morphe M506. Just gonna go around and soften the edges. Just helps to do this so that the next shade you go in with just blends nicer. And everything just has a much more overall blended look to it. This colour's blended super well as well. I feel like it almost looks like I put a bright pink on. Haven't. It's more of a, it is a bright pink, but it's not like as bright as the next one I'm going in with. Yeah, so the next shade I'm going in with is this top super bright pink, which is called Bougie, which I wish described me, but doesn't. I'm gonna grab that on my Zoeva 227. Flip flop that around. I feel like I did get my bright pink from that previous shade, to be honest, so this shade isn't wholly necessary, but I just wanted to use it anyway. And then I am going to take this big fluffy brush that I was going to use for that pink, and I'm going to dip into the shade Pink Prize, which is this lovely little soft pink here. Oh, there's a lot of kick up in this pan, most out of any I've used. And I'm just going to swish this around the edges and try and blend this a bit better, and then we'll be almost ready to move on to the cut crease. I love that they've included this kind of pastel baby pink because it makes blending out deeper pinks a breeze. So I've got that baby pink on now, and the only thing I will say is because it is a pastel, it does tend to dull down a lot of the other shades that you have used prior to it. I do find that with most palettes and most pastels that you do have to go back in and like re-intensify the colours that you've used prior. So I am actually going to go back in anyway with that very first shade that we used. Don't remember the name of it yet. Make It Rain. On a little Morphe M506, I'm just going to really deepen up my crease and outer corner. And just because I want to try a different colour, I'm going to try the shade Purple Majesty, which is this lovely kind of mauvey tone here. I don't think I've used that. No, I haven't so far. I'm going to blend out me deepening up that first shade. By the way, that's such a gorgeous deep purple. It went on no problem at all. So I've just been spending a while just blending out that shade and actually taking it pretty high because I really like the mauvey tone of it. I think it's absolutely beautiful. So I'm pretty happy with where I am right now. I'm just going to nip off screen through all my cut crease, and then I'll come back and we're going to fill it in and use a lot of lovely sparkly shades, which I'm very excited about. So give me 1 minute and I will be back. So I used the Pillowy Space to cut my crease. Do the match? No, I can't spend any more time on it. The next shade I'm going in with is this shade down here. This is our first shimmer, and this is called Loaded Lilac. This is just on a little cheap eBay brush, and I'm going to see what it's like dry, although it's over the wet base, and then I'll wet it if we need to. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that on camera because it's kind of fading into the Pillowy's base. But I can see it in person and it's a really pretty colour. I'm just going to put this all over the front half. I don't think it really needs to be wet over the space, to be honest. It seems to be sticking nicely. So I've put that over like 2/3 of my cut crease, and now I want to try, yeah, I think I'll try this shade here at the kind of back side, that means bum, just because I want to try a few different shades, to be honest. It looked really similar when I first put it on, but with like a couple of layers. I am seeing it is quite a bit deeper. And a bit more pink. Now for the really fun part, I hope, according to my swatches, but I really hope. I've gotten the most fallout, by the way, from those metallic shades. That does quite often happen. I'm not bothered. I didn't put concealer or anything under my eyes. I'm probably just gonna wipe away the foundation and redo it. So now I'm going in with what I'm hoping will be Bomb. This is the shade here for it. This one here, and this is the one that I'm gonna put all over my cut crease. It's like a sheer but glittery kind of transformer. So you can see the colour, but it is quite sheer, and I'm very excited. I'm gonna use my blank canvas E27, I think it's called. and pick it up. I don't know if this needs to be used wet. It already is like wet in the pan like we've already discussed, but it is picking up on the brush, it seems. I'm just going to start putting this on my cut crease and hopefully magic happens. I mean, I'm not expecting, you know, magical sparks, but I'm hoping just for like, just some kind of lovely glittery sheen. I'm just going to try on my finger as well, but you can see compared to the other side how much that has changed the colour. And that's what I was hoping for, because I did want, so noisy outside, I did want my cut crease to be really contrasting. It's really annoyingly loud. I really like that. I might even try this deeper pink one on the back half, see what happens. That is called Oh Yes. These shades really remind me of the ABH Dream Glow Kit. So I'll just quickly do the same to the other eye. I'm really happy with those Transformer shades, and there's just some other really beautiful ones in here, like this copper one. I know I need to just focus because I've already showed these things. Anyway, I'm gonna grab just that little unnamed eBay brush again, and the shade, yeah, I think we'll just go for it. This one here called Flaunt It, which is a metallic shade. It looks quite matte from afar, but it is metallic. I'm going to use that on the very outer corner just to start my blend. This actually might be a little bit too dark, but we'll make it work. And then on my little pencil brush, that first dark shade that we use called Make It Rain. Just to blend in. I'm going to grab a teensy tiny little brush and the shade Perfection, which is this one up here. And I'm just going to put that under my brow. This is my highlight. That is the perfect brow bone highlight for my skin tone. So I'm just going to do this outer corner blending on this side. I'm going to nip away, finish off the rest of my face, and then we'll come back and do the lower lash line. And it gives me time to think about like what I'll do, because maybe I'll do like a bronze lower lash line, because there are really gorgeous like bronze shades in this palette. Like this one here looks a wee bit more red on camera, and then this is actually the pressed glitter, so maybe we'll do like a bronze lower lash line, because if not it's gonna have to just be purple, and I quite like the thought of a contrasting lower lash line. So I will be back in 1 second in YouTube time, about 2 hours in real life. See you in a moment. So I've put some liner on and done this lower lash line. I meant it to be more kind of bronzy, but it still looks pretty purple, but that's fine. I did use a few shades, so let me reference this. Okay, so the first shade I'm using is this one up here called That's Tempting. Yeah, That's Tempting. It is more of like a purple tone brown, which is fine. I'm just gonna run this like all the way along my lower lash line. Then I'm gonna grab this shade here called Decadent AF and just run that below it. which is like an actual brown brown, not so much a purple brown. And then I am grabbing Super Swanky, which is this one here. And I'm just gonna buff that underneath. Then I'm grabbing this shade here, which, I mean, to me it's a copper. I guess it's like a reddish toned copper. Maybe I should have used the other one, this one here, which looks kind of more copper. I'm just grabbing that on this pencil brush. And I am choosing to wet this one just because it is just being layered over matteness, whereas the other metallics I used were layered over either a tacky base or blah blah blah. So I'm just gonna run this shade all the way along the lower lash line. And then I'm just gonna press this shade here over the top. This is called Bling Thing, just because I wanted to use another one of those middle pans. These middle pans are just so cool. Inner corner, I'm going back in with that shade there that I used underneath my brow, because it is Lush. I think that's all I did, yeah. And then in my waterline, I'm just gonna have this sleek twist up eye pencil in Aubergine. I think I used this in a recent video, but it just goes so well with a purple eye look, obviously. It's not my favourite formula, I do find it's a little bit scratchy. For my little wing, I'm just using this NYX Epic Ink liner in black, and it's great. I'll just throw that on quickly, but I just want to say, full disclosure, I am going to go around the top of my cut crease just with a little bit of Urban Decay Grind. I've just done it there. I just felt like I was losing a little bit of the definition, and that's why I've done that. So just so you know, I have done that. It's not drastically changed anything. I think it fits in with the look really well, but I felt like I needed it for a bit more definition. And I'm just going to great lengths to tell you that, because I often get told off for using other products when I'm doing like an eye palette look, when in reality I can do whatever I want. I'm an adult. So I'm going to throw my wing and lashes on, and probably my lip, and then I should come back to you looking like a completely different person, and then we will talk about my final thoughts on this palette and all the colours I've tried, and then I'm going to go, because this video's probably been quite long, although hopefully not too long, but probably still will be too long. Okay, so this is my finished look with the palette. Obviously it is nothing revolutionary, and I'm not even convinced that they actually match. But that is neither hither or thither. I just want to give you my kind of overall thoughts on the palette now, having tested it once. And I will say positive, very positive, from my swatches to how they applied to the colour scheme. Honestly, I'm like, yeah, like 98% positive on this. My 2% not positive is the two like kind of sheer shades that I'm like not that keen on, and that's not the big pans, that's two of the like metallic pans that we've already spoken about. So yeah, apart from that, I'm like really happy. Okay, no, 97%, because the black has glitter in it and I don't like black shades having glitter in them, but yeah, 97% positive. So for me, that's a pretty good result. I am so far loving this palette. I really want to experiment more, do some like really cool like smoked out look, something like that. Even play with like all of the like silvers in here as well. There's some really cool tones, literally and figuratively. So yeah, I'm super pleased, would recommend, would highly recommend. I think it's beautiful. If this is a kind of colour scheme that tickles your particular pickle, then I would recommend it. £35, 34, £35 for 39 shades is, you know, pretty good going in my books. Yeah, I'm really pleased. Those topper shades in the middle in the big pans are just pretty special. I think, to be honest, to have them in a Morphe palette I think is really cool. Like, the shades are just honestly intriguing. I just love them. I love this palette. Everything is getting wiped on my pajama bottoms, that's fine. So yeah, let me know what you think of this look. What do you think of the palette? Have you bought it? Are you gonna buy it? You're definitely not buying it. What are your reasons? What are your reasons? I really appreciate you taking time to watch this video today. If you did enjoy it, please do give it a big thumbs up. It really helps me out. Also leave me a comment because I reply to all of my comments, unless they're really mean, and then I just delete them, so there's no point leaving them there. And yeah, please subscribe, and I hope I'll see you in my next video. Bye!